Welcome back, Reframers, to another episode of the Reframing Gaming Podcast, where we explore life through the lens of play. Tonight's topic is belonging, as you may see on our screens here. It's a simple word, but it's something almost everyone spends part of their life searching for. Whether that's finding your people, finding a community, finding your identity, or just finding a place where you feel accepted for who you are. This month, June, celebrates three huge things, two of which often get overlooked by the first one. In June, we celebrate Pride Month. We also celebrate Men's Mental Health Awareness Month and Veterans Appreciation Month. And while those may seem like very different topics on the surface, they all share something in common: the human need to belong. So, when a lot of people are taught to carry things alone, like identity, stress, grief,
Mhm.
expectations, and mental health struggles, we find ourselves asking what happens when we find people who help carry that weight with us. And I'd like to start by opening it up to talking about Pride Month. Because for a lot of LGBTQ plus people, belonging isn't something that they've always had.
Mhm.
As all three of us are very well aware of, many people spend years trying to find spaces where they feel accepted, understood, and safe enough to be themselves.
Mhm.
So, what do you guys think makes someone feel accepted in a community like this?
I I think accepting is loving somebody no matter who they are. So it doesn't matter like what sexuality, um, what pronoun, what my favorite color is, if I prefer horror novels to romance novels, you will love that person unconditionally, and you'll be there for them, and you'll accept them no matter what. And obviously that's such an obvious answer to like what acceptance is and belonging and everything, especially in a community, but that's it is what it is.
It's the fact, it's the truth. Babe?
Mhm.
I'm probably the worst possible person to ask that question of because it not that I feel necessarily unwelcome anywhere in particular, but I don't also feel welcomed, if that makes any sort of sense.
I think then that makes you one of the perfect candidates to ask the question to. What kind of things do
Yeah.
make you feel accepted when you come into a community?
Mhm.
Like I
Yes.
said, I have no idea. You could throw me a parade and I would still feel like it was a sham.
But
And
why?
that is a very
It's
good
just
question that
just how
I
your brain
don't have an
works.
answer for. My brain is broken. It does not accept acceptance.
It's not, I don't think of your brain as being broken. I think of it as having learned behavior throughout your life, and you just kind of have to train it to think in a different way.
That
I
is a
can
lot
agree with
easier
that.
said than done.
I'm doing it right now by going to therapy.
I do it
It's a
by going
lot
live
harder than
every
what it,
week.
it seems, but it makes you
I,
feel a lot better too.
I unfortunately cannot afford therapy.
Oh, I can't either. I get it free through
That's
my
what we're
insurance because I
here
had to have
for.
surgery.
I mean, you get insurance. That's still affording it in some shape,
No,
form, or
I
fashion.
just, in all seriousness though, I don't think you're broken. You're not broken by any means. You've lived your life in a way where it's safer to stay in that box, instead of facing possible non-acceptance. If that makes sense.
You know,
No,
But
and I
I
fully
do
agree with that
think
too.
you are a very welcome and accepted member of my community, and obviously Chessie's as well. So there's at least two places you're
I
100%
I don't
accepted.
know about Chessie's all the time. I feel like she would rather kick me or bite me sometimes.
Oh, that's your wife. That's to be expected.
That and I bite
What do
out
you
of love.
mean?
That's how I show affection. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
Galen, calm down.
yeah.
Where do you think he gets it from?
His sister,
That too.
You leave Sweet Zelda out of it. You leave
Have
that princess
sweet my
alone.
ass.
That does lead me into the second question I had for that. Have online
Mhm.
spaces ever helped you feel more understood?
Yes. Yes, 100%. Obviously, it could be very touch and go with social media in this day and age because you could join a community or a Reddit page or something like that and be like so celebrated for who you are as a person, what you're into, what you like. Um, but then you can also stumble into very toxic communities where people are obviously mean just for the hell of it. For example, there's a lot of toxic streamers out there. They are toxic. They know they're toxic. They're completely okay with being toxic and they're okay with their community reflecting that as well. So you kind of got to pick and choose and be very careful where you go. But most places that I have been to on the internet have been very accepting and open, and that's because I actively seek out people that are cut from the same cloth as me, that have the same values and outlooks as me, that add love and light to my life. Similarities. That's the easiest way to get accepted. It, at least for me.
I am inclined to agree. Babe, you looked like you were going to say something. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
You're good. For me, I've always got some sort of wall up. So letting people in or allowing acceptance is also a very difficult task.
Hmm. No, I get that. I 100% get that. It's like you're becoming very vulnerable for that person. And it's hard to let someone in when you think there is a chance of getting rejected in any way, whether it's romantic or friendship or family. It's always scared. It's always scary thinking you're going to be rejected. It's easier just to like
I look
it's
for the
easier to
ulterior motives.
it's easier for you to auto reject yourself and assume they're going to reject you in your mind than put yourself into that situation.
And for my husband, I
Hi,
think that
Weast.
it's hi Weast, hi Scratchy. I think
Hey,
it's
Scratchy. Hey,
important.
Leasty boy.
I think it's important that you remember, babe, that the exact thing that we're talking about today is the exact thing that we're trying to teach our son the opposite of. And I think that
You
it's
know what?
very important that you try to follow along in some of the lessons that he's trying to learn right now because you can learn those at any age.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Bish, I
Yes.
can give the advice. I cannot take the advice.
You can if you let yourself, even though it's difficult. And I do like what Shadow was saying there, just knowing we're all different, but having the respect to treat everyone with it and be kind, willing to be honest. Looking
Mm-hmm.
for, he also says, looking for genuine people that actually take the time to welcome and get to know you. I think that that's
Yes.
exactly it. It's looking for a community that is open to seeing you for who you are, accepting exactly who that is, and loving them anyway, and allowing those people to show up in any way, shape, or form that they need to that day, and still saying, hey, we're here for you.
Exactly. They see
Also, I would
all
like
the
to point out
messy
that I'm
sides of you.
sniffing Tiger's Balm because Montana weather sucks.
The Tiger Balm does help.
What is Tiger Balm?
Tiger Balm is it smells a lot like Vicks does, but what it does is for your muscles. You rub it like on your muscles when they're sore, or like for me whenever I have
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
yeah, when I have
It's icy
s-
hot.
yeah,
Yeah.
when I have spasms, it works better than icy hot though.
It does. But it's also a lot stronger than Vicks, and it clears out my sinuses because our neighbor planted lavender, and one of my allergies is lavender.
No,
It's
I
great.
love lavender. I love lavender so
I
much.
do too, and I can't ever
I
have
love
it in my
lavender.
garden because he is allergic to it.
Oh, he can't
All it
come into
does
my
is
house. There's lavender everywhere throughout his house.
it makes me itchy and sneezy, and I live with it
I
because
put
my
lavender
mom
syrup
loved
in my
lavender.
tea every morning.
My mom loves lavender. When I was
Hmm.
growing up, she loved it, and we're both allergic. So we
Lavender
both
is
just
like a
kind of sat
default
there and suffered.
go-to smell. I've always loved the smell of lavender.
I also
Um,
love lavender as a scent, but I try to avoid it for him.
So, fun fact, Benadryl does not work for me anymore. Uh, when I was hospitalized, I got stung by a bee, and because they didn't have any EpiPens because it was a state run facility, I
Oh.
got shot up with like 2,000 milligrams of Benadryl.
Oh my god. Did you see the Hat Man?
No, it actually
Did
it
you see
didn't
him?
knock me out like it was supposed to. So I was awake for fuck, I think 2 or 3 days. And
Ooh, I
ever
love
since then,
Jasmine.
the tiny little doses of Benadryl don't touch anything.
Oh wow. That's crazy. No, I don't do this at home, kids, or at school, please. But I had a friend my freshman year no, my sophomore year of high school. I was stupid and they talked me into taking a whole bunch of Benadryl at school because they were
Oof.
like, it's gonna make you feel weird. And I was like,
Uh
what?
huh.
And they were like, yeah, just do it. And I was like, I was stupid. I was so stupid. I was in the middle of English class seeing the Hat Man walk across the room. I was scared for my life. I didn't know what was going on. It was worst experience of my life. Please don't ever do that.
But see, that also brings up another. That ties in really well with trust issues
Mm-hmm.
with people because I had a similar experience with something else that's legal here in some parts,
Mm-hmm.
and it was laced with things that are not quite
Oh
as legal.
my god, that happened to me too. I had a seizure.
Yep.
It was bad. Mm-hmm.
I started
Dumb high
hallucinating
school.
horribly, and I just it further solidified in my mind that people
Yeah.
and trust do not go hand in hand.
No, that is understandable. It is really understandable. I get
Yeah.
that.
And I think I've experienced it only once, luckily, as far as I know, where I've been kind of in a similar boat. You know, somebody offers you to take a hit and it has something else in it that you don't expect. And it's not a very fun experience. And like, you guys know me. I'm pretty well versed in that realm, but I have never felt like that with it before. And we went to an event, and that just taught me don't take candy from strangers. It really
Oh my
solidified
god.
don't take candy from strangers for me.
I just back to just keeping us on track. We always go off track so badly. I think people are okay with it though cuz we just yap about everything. Back to being accepted. The way that I was growing up. Obviously you guys know a lot of my past. I didn't have a a good childhood. Sorry mom, I know you're in chat. Love you so much.
Love you, mom.
Um
She did her
I didn't have the
best.
best childhood and I had no confidence. I was very bullied in school. And so for me, all throughout my kid and teenage years, I would do anything to be accepted. Like
Hmm.
I would just try and try and try. I'm so sorry. My allergies are going crazy. My throat is scratchy.
It's the
Um
lavender.
Exactly.
it's the fucking lavender. Um, but I would try to be so accepted and I would try so hard like being nice to people, people pleasing, all of that. But when I hit adulthood and I started seeing a psychiatrist and going through therapy and taking medication and working on myself, I've very quickly come to realize I don't care what other people think of me because I am who I am. I like who I am. I'm a fucking weird bitch. I play video games and read horror books and I have my bones and my crystals and there's a lot of people on this earth who are exactly like me. I'm not alone and I guarantee most of them don't give a shit what people think of them either. I love me for who I am. I'm happy. I have friends and family who love me for who I am and accept me in all my weirdness. And it's okay to not try to be accepted by everybody in the world. And it's okay to not try to be everybody's friend and be loved by everybody. Not everybody. You could be the fucking pope and not everybody's going to like you. You could be a god and not everybody's going to like you. Somebody will always find a problem with how you look, talk, how you eat your food, how you drink your drinks, how you fucking put on your underwear. They're always going to find a problem with it. And
Yeah.
the way to give yourself peace and to feel like you belong in yourself, you know, and accept yourself for who you are, is to let go of caring what other people think. Don't actively look for a group to try to belong, because the people that you belong with will find you. They will. You just got to be true to yourself and they'll come eventually. And that's how
Exactly.
I have always looked at it in my adult life. Sorry
And
for the long
exactly,
tangent.
Shadow. Oh, you're good. That's what we're here for. And I agree, Shadow. Absolutely. Can't please everyone. Everyone has their own
Mhm.
views and beliefs. So you just have to be
Exactly.
you and be true to yourself. That's exactly it.
Mhm. Mhm.
I think a lot of my issue with it is just based on how I look. I know people have their own ideas on why my appearance is the way that it is,
Mhm.
and it definitely, I know for a fact it is a defense mechanism that I created for myself to not have to
Mhm.
deal with it.
Well, it's
But
good that you know that.
oh, I can be aware
It's
of
good that
it.
yeah, it's good you're aware of that and you recognize it and
It
everything.
doesn't mean it's gonna change, but
The changing
I
is
at
up to
least know it.
you. I mean, it could drive Jesse crazy, but all of that's completely up to you with how you handle it.
And it does, by the way, just so everyone knows. It does drive me a
It
little bit
does.
crazy because
Oh,
I want to see this man that I love, that I do not see through the same eyes that he sees himself with, as I want him to see himself as someone who is strong and beautiful
yeah.
and is so caring and kind, and like literally I watched this man do so much for everybody but himself, and I wish that he could just turn the mirror around a few times, when he's having a hard day or when he's having like bad mental
Mhm.
thoughts. I wish he could fight his own mental monster and hold up that mirror and be like, you know what, I don't have to listen to this anymore. I know how I feel about how I look, but that doesn't make me any type of bad person. It doesn't make me, what
Mhm.
other people say. And it's a lot harder than it looks. I still fight every day to not care what people think about myself. I have my own
I tell
body
you what,
issues and body dysmorphia and things too. So like it's not that I don't understand where he's coming from. I just wish that he could see himself through our eyes so that he could
Yeah, I
realize,
wish that too, because Twiz is an amazing person.
yeah,
we'll
You
do
are an
that a lot
amazing
more
person.
whenever I
Think of it
get
this
a
way.
nice set of plastics in here.
Think of it this way.
the smile doesn't define
You
you.
are the sperm that won.
That's
You
not
are the
saying a
sperm
lot.
that won. Darwinism has not taken you out. Take life by the balls. You deserve to be here. You are an awesome person.
That's not saying a
Okay?
lot. The rest of them were either drunk or
It's
just
saying a
they
lot.
were complete just puffs of smoke.
Number one
That's not
sperm.
saying a lot.
You did it. You won the race for
This
life.
is who I married. And stubborn as all get out.
Nobody
You know what?
I
Read the
personally
fucking
think
shirt.
You poke
I
That's all
think
Mahoin.
I can say.
that you should never give somebody the power to make you feel bad about yourself. The only person that
Scratchy same.
can give the only person that can give other people the power to hurt your feelings is you. You control that. And it's easier said than done. Words fucking hurt. They can hurt. They can sometimes hurt more than physical pain can.
Yeah, but I
But
do
you're the
the
one
exact
that
same
can
thing that
control that.
most of
If
us did, which, sorry.
No, you're fine. I'll just finish really quick. I was just gonna say, if somebody looks at me and says they don't like my hair, I'm not gonna let that hurt my feelings because I don't give a shit because I like it.
And like I'm not gonna change my hair for them either.
Exactly. This is me. This is me 24/7, with or without makeup, and I'm happy
To,
with who I am.
to be fair, though, you have like 10 pounds of other
That's true. My wig
hair.
wall is
So,
insane. My wig wall's huge. I've been looking at more too.
in Shadow, I do try. And like Jesse said, I just have a. I can be nice to everybody else. I can tell everybody else the same exact things. I cannot do it for myself. It
We're here to
There's
help you.
something
I
along
will
those lines
never
that just
rest.
don't match.
But here's the thing, and I'm going to say this for everybody in chat, and I think this is going to be a good segue too. The idea of wanting to be accepted isn't unique to any one person or one group or anything
Mhm.
like that. It's not. And it's a choice that you make every single day when you wake up in the morning. Everybody wants to say, "Oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't think this way." You can, you're choosing not to. It's always a choice because in
Mhm.
reality, you are the writer of your own story. You are the person that creates that script. You're the one that makes every single choice. You make the choice to breathe in and out every day. You make the choice to get up out of bed every day. You make the choice
Mhm.
to look at yourself in the mirror or not look at yourself in the mirror. And the reality of acceptance is starts with yourself. It starts
Mhm.
with yourself.
Yep.
And honestly, hold on, I broke Discord. Honestly,
See this?
honestly, the biggest thing that you can do for yourself is instead of thinking, "Oh, I can't," think, "I'm going to try. I'm going to try to do that today." And
Yeah.
if you fall down on your face trying, at least you gave it a shot. And then you can wake up cuz tomorrow's a new day and you can try again and until you have the choice to reset
Ooh.
those thought
Ooh.
patterns.
Ooh.
She's so excited. Yes,
Ooh. Teacher
Onyx.
Chesty. I was going. Oh shit! I got so excited I forgot what I was gonna say. It was so important too. It went hand in hand with what you're saying, and now I can't fucking remember. No,
She looked and saw silence, guys.
my my brain cell it stopped working. Jojo took it. He's gaming right now with Mercy in them. He took my brain cell.
Honestly, for me at least, I see a path to get to where I want to go and to do everything that you've said. It's a long, long path.
Oh, I
The
remembered.
first step is the easiest, which is getting to Ireland and getting teeth.
Hmm. I was gonna say. I just remembered what I was gonna say. I'm sorry if I interrupted. Are you
No, you're good.
okay? I
No
want to
one's
make sure
mad
I
at
didn't
you.
interrupt you. If it goes hand in hand with what Chessie said, with trying, like try, and if you mess up and you fall on your ass, you can say you at least tried. If you mess up and fall on your ass, laugh at yourself. Turn it into a joke. You guys know, I mean, you're my two lead mods. You're always in my chat. You've known me for years and years and years. I always make myself the butt of the joke, especially if I fuck up, and that's okay. It's okay to laugh at yourself. Instead of being embarrassed and beating yourself up about it, because everybody makes mistakes. You're not the only person in this world that will make a mistake. We all do it. We're all human. But when you make a mistake, just laugh at yourself. It's not a big deal. And then if you want to retry, you retry. That's what I always do.
I will say
Make it funny.
there's a very fine line there though, because I
Hmm.
make myself the butt of my jokes constantly, and it pisses people off.
But you make
That's
yourself the
because
butt
you
of
make
your jokes in a negative way. You
self-deprecating
call
jokes.
yourself, yeah, you call yourself names. You say you're not funny. None of that is true. You are one of the funniest people I know. I'm talking about don't talk down on yourself. But if you do make a mistake, instead of feeling bad about it and beating yourself up about it, or feeling embarrassed because you did it in front of people, just brush it off, laugh it off, say, "Oh, I fucked up. Oh well, we'll try again next time."
Actually, a good example is Jessie falling on her ass in front of the hospital on our wedding
Gotta
day.
call me out.
And you laughed at
Hey,
yourself.
you
You
I
were
laughed
making
it
fun of
did.
off.
me.
I would literally okay, so I'll tell you guys the story and we'll segue. I I was in really thin heels. Okay, for context here. It was on our wedding day. We had a day pass with our son. We had pulled him out of the mental facility he was resident in for a short time. He actually just got out. Um, but we were dropping him back off and I don't know if it was my perfume. I don't know if it was just because it was the like start of
Because you're
spring
sweet.
and summer. I'm not. I'm not.
It's because you're
Um
sweet, like honey.
but there was a bee I don't actually know if I'm allergic to bees or not. I didn't want to find out on my wedding day. And it
Yeah.
was just hovering over my shoulder, like trying to chill and say hello. And it's like, no, no, thank you. And I looked back, I saw it. I expected when I moved it would fly away, but no, it got closer. So I skedaddled. I pulled a whole
Skedaddle.
skedaddle, and I
She
ended up.
skedaddled and tried to
I
plant
just
herself
imagine the
underneath my
Scooby
mom's car.
Doo sound. You know the Scooby Doo sound when
That's
they
about
start
how it
running.
felt. That's about how it felt because I was in these heels and they were like this thick, you guys. They were like this thick and they were
No.
stick heels, okay? Love those shoes. Absolutely adore them. But I fell on
Oh
my ass.
no,
The dress was
dogs
okay.
in the club.
The dress was okay. My knuckles were not because I caught myself on my hands.
Oh.
I rolled over and landed on my back. My head was basically resting on his mom's car's tire as a pillow, and my vape had rolled under it, split into because it does this. It was two pieces at that point, and I was just sitting there laughing while I look up, and his mom and him are looking down at me so serious. Are you okay? And I'm dying laughing. I thought it was so funny because I knew
Yeah,
I
it's
was
the
bound
best
to fall in my
example.
heels.
I'm just glad that Kieran
Yeah.
wasn't there because you would never,
I would never hear the end of
ever hear
it.
the end of it.
Never, not once. But, like, I was really actually proud of myself that day too, that I could laugh in the moment and then turn around and laugh after
Yeah.
because I've never been that person. And streaming, honestly, you guys have helped me open up so much because, like, if I fuck up when I'm playing a game or if I do something stupid or, like, if I'm playing when I was playing Phasmo for the first time and I ended up getting
Mhm.
us both killed because I didn't know what I was doing and I was sitting there laughing at myself. It taught me how to, like, get over that. I don't know what the
Yeah, the
word
fear
is
of
for it.
embarrassment, the fear
Yeah.
of yeah, just like looking dumb in front of other people. I
Overly
think everybody has that
self-aware.
fear. Yeah, it's very self-aware, and it goes hand in hand with belonging as well. You think if you embarrass yourself or look stupid, non-cool, they're not gonna want to be friends with you. They're not gonna think you're cool. They're not gonna want to talk to you. But we're not in high school anymore.
Yeah,
And yeah, the world in some parts can run like that. But as a whole, people don't give a shit. If you're walking through Walmart, you could be walking through Walmart in pajama pants. A lot of people do it.
I do.
Oh, I
99% of the people don't care. They do not care. They don't notice you the way that your brain is thinking they notice you. I
Mhm.
promise you that.
You're just one out of
And
a
the
ton of
second
people.
that you accept that, you will feel so much freer in life.
It does, and it does
just
take steps, but it you get
Mhm.
there once you, like, realize you can laugh at yourself, and the first time you laugh at yourself
Mhm.
in doing something stupid, like,
That's my secret to my
it's a
confidence.
step. Yeah, it's
You
just
just
baby
yep, just
steps.
laugh
You
at
just
yourself.
keep going.
I'm gonna say this now. I'm mad at both of y'all because you just reminded me that I graduated high school 18 fucking years ago.
18.
He graduated early too.
God, you're a dinosaur.
Yeah, I know. My kids
I'm
tell me
just
all the
kidding.
time.
I'm
Thank
just
you, Kieran
kidding.
and Harley, for that commentary, because that's, I'm sure, what he was thinking.
Yeah, the little shit just called me 48 years old or day before
48.
yesterday.
Yeah, Kieran
Oh
said he was
God.
48.
Oh
But I do
no.
And he
think,
said it with his whole damn chest.
I gaslit Dylan the other day into thinking he was 35 or 36. He was like, "No, I'm not. I was born in 93." And I said, "No, you weren't. You no, you were born in 1990." And he's like, "No, I fully had him recounting the years back." He
That's
hates when
just
I
mean.
gaslight him because I think it's hilarious.
but I do think, like, I think everyone wants to feel seen and understood
Mhm.
somewhere. And, we've talked about that a ton here on the podcast. And I do want to go ahead and segue because I think this is the perfect time. It
It's
brings
your
us
favorite word
to,
tonight, isn't it?
it is, it is. I'm loving that word.
Segue.
It's just been my word for the last couple of days. I don't know what it
Your
is.
word.
Um, but because, like, I've been putting all this through ChatGPT and it's like I want to find the right way to segue this, and so that's just the word that's been stuck right here for the last 2 days while trying to format this for myself. But it brings us to Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And I know that we have all three discussed multiple times on our channels personally that we are huge
Mhm.
advocates for men's mental health. And we've
Oh
talked about
yes.
it before how easy it is to ask for help in games, but how difficult it can be in real life. And I think a lot of men grow up being taught that they're supposed to just carry everything by themselves. My
Mhm.
husband being a really great example, and just about every man that I know in my life. Hi, Obsidian, welcome in.
Hi, Obsidian. How are you?
Every man that I've known and come across in my life, my brother included, my husband included, um, a lot of my friends that are men like JoJo and I have talked about it, and I'm not gonna just like throw him under the bus here or anything, but we've talked about it, and I've come to the conclusion that men have like this pressure on them to appear strong and to not ask for help and to stay isolated. You're not allowed to have emotional expression, and they never get taught what healthy support actually looks like. Which is why, in a lot of ways, I do think my husband struggles with everything that he struggles with because you're not supposed to talk about that stuff. And a lot of us girls were taught that way too growing up. Don't get me wrong. When you're like Onyx and you've had to become basically the third parent in the household, when you're like my mom and you've had to become the other parent in the household, or when you're like me and life takes a turn for the worse and you have to step up for your siblings or step up for other people, you get left feeling like you don't have anyone to step up for you, and men especially go through that. And so I have a few questions that I'd like to bring up for topic of conversation. And this is kind of the primary topic I wanted to focus on because this topic, because of pride, which not to take anything away from pride, we love pride around here, as you guys can see. Um,
And we're
Pride
all
takes
very proud
over.
of it.
Pride, ever since it was established, has taken over what June used to stand for. And Men's
Mhm.
Mental Health Awareness Month has been here for a lot longer. So I want to ask you guys, what do you think so many, or why do you think so many men feel pressure to hide what they're struggling with?
Do you want to go first, Twiz, or you want me to start?
Either or.
Um, I was gonna say that society has always, obviously, like it's always been more accepting of women being more emotional, being more self-aware and in tune with their emotions, maybe too emotional at times, and being more self-aware and tuned in with their mental health and everything. And that is because women are known to be more maternal, more loving. We carry the babies, we have the babies, all of that. But that doesn't mean that a man is going through any less mentally. Now, Dylan, he has went through so many doctors for so many medications throughout his entire life for severe anxiety and depression, and it came out, he found out a few years ago that he was actually misdiagnosed when he was, I think, I want to say like 6 years old. They loaded him up with, you know, not Zofran,
So,
anxiety medicine,
I'm proud
Zoloft,
of
thank
you,
you.
Obsidian.
Thank you so much. They loaded him up with Zoloft at 6 years old, sent him on his way, and said, whatever, he'll be fine. And it turns out, Dylan has completely unmedicated severe ADHD, both types of ADHD. And since he got correctly diagnosed and got on the right medication, he's doing so much better. But that example just proves that they they either think they're being dramatic or they're overworked, and they're like, oh, you're just fine. Go home, drink some water, take a nap, you're good. And that's not how it is. The same way that we give mothers help, as an example, I had a baby 2 years ago. The same way that we fight to help mothers going through postpartum mental health is the exact same way we should treat a man as well. It's equal. Just because a man might be physically bigger and stronger than a woman doesn't mean they're bigger and stronger in their brain. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Like they're just as likely to get depressed. They're just as likely to be anxious. They're just as likely to need therapy and, seeing a psychiatrist, medication, or just to talk. Like, are you kidding me? I buy Dylan flowers and give him hugs all the time. Men deserve flowers too.
They do.
They deserve a band aid on their brain, just like I do, just like any woman does. And it's just sad that society has these set things so cemented into it that even today in the big year of 2026, people still believe that mental health isn't real, especially for men, and that they'll be perfectly fine. And that's just not true. Men want banana
Men want
bread.
banana bread. Banana bread
Men
at
want
work,
banana
dude?
bread.
Hell yeah.
But
I
never give
mean,
up is Sidian. Exactly.
if you give me a
Hi,
little bit
Hi,
Jojo.
of
Jojo.
zucchini bread, I'll go with
Oh,
zucchini bread over banana bread
oh,
any
I'm just
day.
throwing this out there. Panera has the most amazing lemon cranberry bread. I will literally get hit by a car for it. I swear.
I
I'll jump in
love
front of a vehicle
I
for
love
it.
I
Panera.
mean, Jojo, that's
Jojo
fair.
wants tits. Jojo wants tits.
Wrong
Makes
platform,
sense.
but
Wrong platform. This is
no.
purple, not blue.
I
Sorry,
will
buddy.
say that you mentioned uh, postpartum depression.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that isn't looked at is men go through something similar. Speaking as someone who's had 3 kids, men go through similar, little bit different because we obviously we didn't carry the child, but
It doesn't make you guys any less important, though.
look at Mother's Day compared to Father's Day. I'll leave that there for right now. But men go through the okay, now I've got this tiny little fragile thing that if I fart the wrong way, it's going to snap its neck. That now I have to not only be the only one capable of working right now,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine, but I also have to take the load off of mom whenever I get home.
Yeah.
I've got a laundry list of new responsibilities that only I can manage. And if you sit there and you talk about it, 9 times out of 10 a woman will go, "Yeah, well, I had to do this." Okay, and I'm not discrediting that. I'm not discounting what you've done, but there's so much that people don't really look at for men because it's not a men's problem.
Mm-hmm.
Mental health isn't a man's problem. It's something that we rub some dirt in it, it'll be fine, kind of thing.
Yeah. Buck up. Nut up.
Exactly. And
You'll be
it's like
fine.
one thing that I don't think I've even told Jesse about. Uh, I had actually gone and got diagnosed with major depressive disorder and bipolar 2, which is super fun, by the way, super fun combo. But I went and I was picking up my prescription from the Osco up the road when it was still there. And the pharmacist behind the counter, do people like you really need those?
Don't mind her own
Yeah, if I
fucking
don't
business.
want to
I
go
would
the
have
fuck
kicked her
off on
ass.
somebody, like it, and it made it to where I decided, okay, maybe they're right, maybe I'm just being a pussy about this, and I ended up dumping my pills down
No.
the toilet.
No.
I
No.
flushed a whole month's worth of prescription after being on them for 6 or 7 months straight, and ended up having a mild break, but it just it even there's therapists that do the exact same thing. That if you go to a therapist and you say, my dad used to beat the shit out of me, women will get, oh, that was wrong, this, that, and the third.
Mm-hmm.
I went and got told that it was my fault because I was talking back to him. There's
Oh, that
a
person should lose their
huge
therapy
stark
license.
contrast between
Oh, yeah.
the treatment that females get versus the treatment males get in healthcare professions, in
Mm-hmm.
mental health. positions.
Mhm.
It even, like I was saying, look at Mother's Day and Father's Day. You've got tens of thousands of commercials for give mom the gift of flowers on Mother's Day, give her the gift of diamonds, yada 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 yada.
Mhm.
And dads get maybe one or two commercials a year. Oh, take him to Lowe's. Oh, go camping. Like,
Buy him a bouquet of beef jerky.
Dick's Sporting Goods.
or
Yeah.
Dick's or Bass Pro Hunter or whatever. And it's like, okay, first off, the number of commercials, and I know it's a stupid thing to bitch about, like the number of
No, it's
commercials
not.
that
I think it's valid.
Father's Day gets, and not to mention, 9 times out of 10, people don't remember when the hell Father's Day even is.
Mhm.
Mother's Day, you know exactly when that shit is.
And I think it's because it goes back to like mom, like carry the baby, birth the baby, breastfeed the baby. But that doesn't mean that the man is less important in the equation. The
And then
man
the
is just as important physically, mentally, and it's so sad that they get forgotten. And I understand that, new baby, mom is healing. It's a lot physically. You could die during childbirth.
yeah,
But like you said, the man like Dylan, after I had our kids, he worked all day long, comes home, helps me with the kids, encourages me to nap. I'm a stay-at-home mom and everything, and I'm very blessed and lucky for it. But I always, always, always to make sure to check up on him and how he's doing as well, mentally, how he's feeling, because I'm not in this alone. Nobody is in this world alone, and it's unfair and it's not okay for anybody to feel like they are, but it's especially unfair for men because like you said they don't get the same. I'm so sorry, my cat keeps distracting me. She's so aggressively nudging me to get my attention. It's so sad because men oftentimes feel like they're alone because they don't get the same help and the same recognition for their mental health. And that's why men's suicide rates are so incredibly high,
and
and it's
continue to climb.
sad. Yeah, and they can continue to climb, and it's all ages. It could be a 12-year-old boy, it could be a 45-year-old man, and it's just really really sad. And I if we would put in more effort to help people with their mental illnesses, I feel like this country would start off, Jesus Christ, cat, would start off getting back on the right track. You know what I mean? Like this country, it's so worried about, and this isn't me talking shit about America. This isn't a political thing, anything like that. It's just kind of leading into what I'm getting to. Um, this country's so worried about celebrities and about what's this celebrity doing? What's this TikToker doing? Oh, let's go on a witch hunt and cancel this streamer because they said something mean to somebody 15 years ago. How about we forget about all that and we start getting back to helping people, helping men with their mental health, helping charities, helping veterans, Sorry,
I
I'm going
mean,
on what you guys know how I get during the
to be
pod. I'm going off
to
on
be
my
fair,
tangents.
my very first attempt was 7, 8 years old,
And
somewhere
that's
around
so
there.
sad that a young
I
boy
mean,
that
obviously, I'm still
age,
kicking, but
well, thank God you are, because I'm happy to be your friend. I couldn't live in
like
a life without
seven,
Twiz.
7 or 8 years old, and I did something that by all rights should have ended me right then and there.
I'm
And I
sorry.
got told that I was just a little bit sad. And I'm
That's,
sorry, but I think that's a little bit more than just a little bit sad.
yeah.
There's a line in a Martina McBride song that says, and this will make sense in a second. It says, "Cancer don't discriminate. Neither does mental health. Neither
Hmm.
does the disorders that our brains have to endure." And just like what Onyx was saying too, everyone's so fucking worried about what Hollywood is doing, what influencers are doing, what the big streamers are doing. And I'm alongside Onyx in believing I think people should be more like Markiplier because you see he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
discriminate. You see all of the good streamers that we follow, all of the good YouTubers that we follow, all of the good influencers, all of that. Like, I don't even like celebrities who don't act like this. I'm a huge fan of celebrities that advocate for other people,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and I'm a huge advocate for, like I said, mental health does not discriminate. Mental health is human. It's not a feminism thing. It's not a masculine thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's it affects everybody. And the fact that we have a society today that we live in where nobody focuses. I mean, if you take it back 50, 60 years,
Yeah.
men were the ones that were doing the jobs. Women weren't allowed to work. Women weren't allowed to vote. Women weren't allowed to do all of that stuff. But women were also the ones, like when you go back and watch I Love Lucy, go back and watch the Andy Griffith Show, go back and watch any of those that were filmed in black and white before color TV was a thing, and tell me that this dynamic doesn't show up. The men were the ones that did the work, and the women were the ones being told, suck it up, you're just being emotional, or you're just on your period, or you're
Mm-hmm.
just this, that, or the other. But it was expected. Women have always been the foragers and gatherers, and we've always been the ones to supply the care for the children in the village, and
Mm-hmm.
be the teachers, and be the caregiver, be the natural born nurturer. Whereas
Yeah.
men, all of these centuries long, were always taught that they had to haul the rocks from the mountains to come build the structures, and they had to basically get tough and be strong, and there was never anything wrong with a man. But in
Mm-hmm.
reality, if you look behind the scenes of all of those shows, all of the history, men were sitting in their rooms alone, crying.
Mm-hmm.
Their emotions, they only talked about them with their friends. And even then, back in the day, like when my mother was growing up in the 50s, they didn't have support from their friends either. They got bullied by them. They were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, well, you're overthinking it, man up, get tough, be
Mm-hmm.
strong." And I think there is a solid difference between what support looks like beyond just man up.
Yeah.
And
Well,
we have
Dylan,
so much evidence these days that shows that. And still, like my husband was saying, therapists will look you dead in the face and say, "Oh, you're just having a hard time. You'll get over it."
yeah. I mean, that goes along with everything. I feel like with men, like mental illness, physical pain, like when Dylan had that extreme migraine a few weeks ago.
I was so worried about him, by the
Extreme
way.
he couldn't even stand. I had to help him to the truck and drive him to the hospital. And on the way there, he was literally crying and throwing up because of how bad his head hurt. And one of the only things he could say to me was, I'm going to look like a pussy in the emergency room because it's just a really bad headache. And I said, no, I get migraines. That migraines aren't just a really bad headache.
No, they're
Nobody's
not.
going to think you're a puss for going to the emergency room because you have severe pain, which that is what it's made for. That's what the emergency room is there for, which thankfully the doctors and the nurses at the emergency room literally told him, no, migraines are terrible. You did good coming here so we could scan your head, make sure everything's good. But I mean it just goes hand in hand with that. Like you go to a therapist when you're a male and you have bad mental health and they're afraid they're going to look weak. You go to the hospital because you broke your fucking tibia and your bone's sticking out at a 42-degree angle. They're still not going to want to go because they're afraid they're going to look like pussies because they're big strong man with many chest hair.
I mean, there are
And
men that get.
that's so sad that that men have that, that mental state that they're like, "Oh, I can't even cry because my mom passed away because people are going to think I'm a wimp."
Yeah. And you also have to look at it this way too. Trigger warning for this part because this one's a little bit more sensitive and this isn't
Yeah, I know
something
what
that
city
I'll
in.
I'll talk about a ton. Um, Men get assaulted, men get
Mm-hmm.
abused, men get beat up on, men get raped, men get all of this stuff. And you know what? Social media, come at me if you want to. Men have all of the same stuff happen to them that you hear all the time news reports of things happening like this to women. Oh, she was in an abusive relationship. Oh, this guy did this to her. This guy, pulled her clothes off of her and did this. Men have the same thing happen to them by women, by men,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not allowed to say anything about it. I literally come across several TikToks because this is what my feed focuses into anymore. Of men literally they wait days or a week. There was this one man and I'm so proud of him because he had the courage to come out on social media and talk about it. He's a muscle builder. He's somebody that does that like for a living. And
Bodybuilder.
so, yes,
Bodybuilder.
thank you.
Yeah.
And he goes and gets like a massage once a week to make sure that his body stays in shape without overdoing it. And
Mm-hmm.
he got molested. Thank you. That's a good word. I'm
Oh.
scared to say anything, but he waited like a week before he even reported the massage parlor to the police. And he even was telling the police officer, like, just like you were saying, I'm not a pussy. I don't ever cry about shit. Like I do this on social media. I have this many followers and like I do this for a living and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not one of these guys. I'm not just like looking for a sympathy vote or anything. I wouldn't have normally reported it. It was I think his partner or a female that was in his life of some sort, some type of relationship with him that
Mm-hmm.
encouraged him like, no, you have to say something. You have to report this.
Yeah.
And he was so
Yes.
afraid to, and he sat there. He video documented the whole thing on his TikTok. If I can find the TikTok, I'll send it to y'all. Um, he was sitting there crying on the phone and shaking. And this is not a guy you'd
Mm.
see this guy and you wouldn't think that, he'd be calling the police crying and shaking. But over something like this, it's
Yeah.
absolutely valid. You absolutely need to.
Yeah.
And men don't feel comfortable enough talking about that stuff when it happens because of the way that society looks at them. And it goes back to the
I
first topic of you got to stop caring what other people think. You got to do
mm-hmm.
what's best for you.
I watch a lot of like body cam videos, true crime, stuff like
They
that.
get addicting.
And they're so addicting. Facebook Reels has me in a chokehold. Anyways,
TikTok for
I
me, but
watch a
same.
lot of body cam videos, and what you just talked about brought to mind a body cam video I watched a few days ago. And it was a man. This was in England. And it was a man, and he was so severely abused and beaten by his own wife. They had 3 kids in the house, okay? And he tried to get help. He couldn't get help. And if I remember correctly, I can't remember if the wife ended up murdering him. But in the body cam video, like people were giving this husband so much shit because they were like, "Oh, why didn't you leave? Why didn't you leave? Why didn't you fight back? Why did you?" Because he secretly bought cameras and he put cameras in the rooms of the house to catch her abusing him. And everybody on social media was like, "Well, why didn't you leave? Why didn't you fight back? You just went and bought cameras and put it in the house and stayed there?"
Because no one will believe you
Nobody,
otherwise.
nobody
Why didn't
cared
I leave when I was in a
how
2
he
year
felt.
abusive relationship?
Nobody cared how he felt. Nobody asked how he was. Nobody tried to help him. Nobody thought to themselves, "Oh, they have 3 kids in the house. Maybe he's trying to catch her in the act. Maybe he doesn't want to just dip and leave his kids with a fucking psychopath."
Yeah.
Actually, that
You know?
it
And it's
reminds
so
me of
sad because if it was a woman, social media, everybody would be in a witch hunt for
Hmm.
the man abusing
yeah.
her in front of her kids. But it's a man. Oh well, you didn't leave. It's your fault. You're still there. And
It's like
it's so infuriating.
I don't know if you watched it. I can't remember if you said you did, but the first episode of The Rookie.
I've
Uh,
seen the rookie. Dylan loves the rookie.
I love that show.
okay,
Dylan
so
Dylan's seen every episode.
when Nolan goes to his first domestic altercation, and it's the
Mhm.
big buff guy and
Mhm.
this tiny, scrawny little woman.
Yeah.
They, of course, think he's the abuser and this, that, and the other. And the end of the episode, she ends up stabbing him in the neck and killing him.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
It's like, men can be abused. It's just not
Don't
shown.
assume. Don't
Because,
assume just because of how somebody looks.
well, no, and of course, if we're bigger than they are, if we raise a single finger, no matter
Yeah.
what the circumstances, we're the bad guy.
And
Hmm.
that's exactly why they don't fight back too, is because even if he had
Yeah.
fought back, everyone in the chat in the comments that you were just talking about saying, well, why didn't he fight back? Because he would have been the bad guy in the end, because she's a
Yeah.
woman
He
and
would have.
he's a man.
Hmm.
I
I'm
didn't raise a
sorry.
finger. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's a very gray area because most men are bigger than women. They are physically stronger. And if the woman is beating on the man and the man, like you said, tries to stick up for himself, fight back, even just like push her away gently to get her away, he will always be made to be the bad guy most of the time in the situation. And that's fucked up. That's if you're if you're telling me a woman is coming at you and you're not going to defend yourself, like you need to defend yourself. Get her away from you and don't just assume that he's the bad guy in that situation.
I mean, I've got a scar on my hand from being stabbed with a pencil. I
Mm.
had my ocular cavity busted, fractured in 3 different places, and I did not raise a finger because I knew for a fact that if I did, I'd be the one in cuffs.
Mhm.
And it actually something you said too. There was one point that Chessie had to take me to the hospital because I don't cry over pain a whole lot, just because I'm extremely used to pain at this point.
Mhm.
That pain
Same.
doesn't really, it doesn't affect me the same way as it rightfully
Yeah.
should. Like, I
I mean, look
busted
what
my hand, and
all you dealt with in your life, like
I
pain, you would get used to it a little bit.
I recently busted my hand again from falling because I don't even know how the fuck I fell.
Quiz.
But oh, it's fine. But Chessie had to take me to the hospital, and the entire time I'm sitting in the passenger seat, which is something that I don't do. I drive my car. I do not like other people driving me. I do not like being a passenger in my own car. But the entire time that she was driving me up to the hospital, I was sitting there crying and apologizing to
Oh,
her for being so stupid that I have to have her take me to the hospital,
you weren't
apologizing
though.
for
You
being a
weren't being
pussy,
stupid. You
and
weren't though.
even I even had one of the doctors in there say, in probably the snarkiest, rudest fucking way, "You came in for a toothache?"
Oh my god.
No, fucker. I came in because I have
Tooth
white,
pain is some of
searing
the
hot
worst pain
pain
you could have.
flushing through my body right now because an abscess just burst,
Mhm.
and everything feels like you just put a hot poker against my skin. Like,
A
no, it's not
couple
just a
of doctors
toothache.
and nurses in that at that particular situation got talked to not so
Yelled at.
nicely by me. One almost got hit in the face.
Well, the one who
She
put
probably
hands
deserved
on
it.
Chessie, first of all.
Well,
Hands.
he
Yep.
started, this doctor started by first of all grabbing my husband like this by the face and telling him to open
Yep.
his mouth when he was
Oh my
in
god.
searing pain. Then he, and mind you, this doctor, he was stronger. He had like a really firm grip. It's one of those like you'd expect somebody's dad when you shake their hand, kind of
Yeah.
firm grip type of thing.
Mhm.
That's what was going on. So he grabs my husband by the face here, and then he tries to come at my husband with a needle that he told him repeatedly he did not want in his mouth. and then decided that he was going to put his hand on my shoulder, and I think he put it on my knee as well at one point, and I was white knuckling it the whole time because this guy was not respecting what the patient was telling him. This
Oh,
guy was not respecting
Yeah.
what the patient's wife was telling him, and also not respecting either of our personal boundaries. Just because you're a doctor doesn't mean you can do that kind of thing. I was white
yeah.
knuckling it because I was this close. If he had put his hand on me one more time, or if he had grabbed my husband the way that he did one more time, he was going to get punched in the face, and I was going to be in
And
jail for 3 days.
mind you, I'm also swollen. It looks like I'm trying to smuggle a grapefruit like a goddamn chipmunk.
Yeah, his face, when
Like
the
my
abscess
entire
burst,
face
it
was
just,
swollen to shit.
yeah, it was not a good experience. One of the nurses, she was helping the doctor. She was like his attending nurse or whatever for the time being. Mind you, they put this man in a hallway bed.
Yep.
In a hallway bed. So I was already irritated.
Yeah.
But the
Understandable.
nurse that was with
Just because
him,
there were like 6 rooms open.
yeah, it was irritating because they had rooms open. But the
They had,
nurse that
yeah.
was with him came with him the first time we saw him, she was with him. The second time when he came
Hmm.
back, she was carrying like the meds and stuff for him. She wouldn't come back. She would not come back to help us with him because of me. Because I was telling them to do their damn job, and
Good.
I was
They needed
legitimately
somebody to tell them to do
pissed.
their fucking job, apparently.
I had
But
to yell at the doctor straight up, and I had to tell him, "Look, he doesn't want the fucking needle in his mouth, so stop trying to force that on him. This is what's going on. This is what he needs. Do your damn job."
Advocate for him.
it was the
Everybody should
same
always have
way.
somebody advocating for them, especially at like a hospital.
Oh yeah.
It was the same way
Always.
when I went in. I thought my appendix had burst because it was that bad. I was doubled over in pain, and I could barely walk. Jesse had to grab the car and pick me up because I
Hmm.
me walking past the front door was bad enough, and they take me for all these tests, and I'm sitting there apologizing to the doctors for wasting their time,
You weren't wasting their time.
apologizing
You were in
to
pain. Pain is pain is pain is pain is pain. Any type of
apologizing
pain
to
is pain,
Chessie for
and it's their
wasting her
job.
time
Never a waste of my
and
time, love.
for worrying her. And then all they tell me is, well, it could be a kidney stone. We don't really know. And then sent me home.
That and like our hospital
It's
straight
like,
up is one of the worst that I've ever experienced. I know you know Onyx, you know St. Francis. This
Hmm.
hospital is like the polar opposite. They do not give two shits. I swear to God, I,
Cracker Jack boxes.
She's about to lose
yes,
her mind.
I'm going to. I don't want to go off on this hospital because that's not the point of the topic right now, but like
It's okay. You
they
mentioned
just don't
people,
do
celebrities
shit.
with celebrities earlier in the in the podcast episode. You mentioned celebrities with a platform that advocate and stick up for mental health awareness and stuff. And it took everything in me to bite my tongue because you know how I feel about people who have platforms and a voice and don't fucking use them for good.
I'm going to say James Charles and I'm going to leave
Ugh.
it there.
Oh, don't even mention him in front of me. Oh, I'm
We might do a whole podcast
sorry.
episode just on that at some
But
point.
my whole
I'm
point
gonna be
behind that
heated that
is
episode.
my whole point behind that is Dylan did the exact same shit, and it's something
Mhm.
that is bred into us that
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
wasting everybody else's time if we complain about anything. We're wasting resources that could be applied elsewhere.
I
I
will
feel bad
say,
going to the food bank because that's food that could be going in somebody else's mouth.
oh, that's me too.
Like,
That's I feel the I'm just like that as well.
it's
Because there,
irritating.
Same.
when we lived in Wyoming, the town we lived in Wyoming, the state of Wyoming, they had a food bank for the town, and the food bank was for anybody. It was a food bank for the entire town to come get, free food, food for kids, stuff like that. It wasn't just for people who needed groceries or anything like that. It was for everybody. And when we first moved to the town, my mother-in-law told me about it, and I was like, I'm not going to there. Like we have money to buy food. I'm not taking food out of a family's mouth that needs that free food. And she was like, no, you don't understand. This is for the entire, like they send enough for the entire town. And you're not going to be taking it from anybody. So
It still doesn't stop me,
I
though.
completely get it. I felt so bad. Dylan's the same way as me, as us. With that, I get it.
And it actually kind of, using Chelsea's favorite word, a nice segue into the
Segue.
fact that 90% of the people that we've seen in our food bank are veterans.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're
Mhm.
they're homeless. They're vets. They served in. I mean, some of them were Vietnam vets that are sitting there in a wheelchair without a leg that are needing help with food. They're Iraq War veterans that
Mhm.
haven't gotten the mental help they need because, again, surprise, surprise, can't get it or are too afraid to ask for it or are told that they don't need it. And it's, at least here, a lot of it is veterans that are sitting in the food banks. And I know there's a lot of the people that are sitting on the side of the road begging that are just doing it because you make more in a day doing that than you do in a month of actual work.
Mhm.
Because, of course, you prey on people's generosity
Sympathies.
and
Yeah.
sympathies. And but there's more often than not a lot of the people that are living in the homeless shelter right now are veterans that
Mhm.
the VA has failed them, their pensions have failed them. The only the only veteran that I can think of offhand whose benefits never crapped out on them, who his widow is still receiving his pension, is my grandfather.
Mhm.
And it wasn't even for this fucking country. My grandpa was a he was frontline artillery in the Queen's Army,
Mhm.
and his pension is still going to my grandmother.
Yep.
See,
But
sorry, go on.
oh, I was just gonna say here it we have multiple days dedicated to veterans, a month
Mhm.
dedicated to veterans, and it still seems like nobody gives a flying fuck.
Yeah.
Pardon the
See,
crassness, but
my mom is a veteran. She served in the Navy for years, and she has, she uses her benefits and everything, and she gets her pay from the VA. She gets disability pay and everything since she's a veteran. Um, but it took her years, years and years and years to get any of these benefits.
oh, they have
It
to fight tooth and nail.
Yeah, she has had to fight tooth and nail to get these benefits. She's had to fight tooth and nail to get good therapy because she went through I will not go into detail because it is not my story to tell, but my mom went through something very traumatic in the Navy. And the Navy decided to brush it under the rug. Her and multiple other women, they just brushed it under the rug. Um and my mom, for years, she has so much trauma from that and everything, and they didn't do anything about it. And still to this day, she's had to fight tooth and nail to get these benefits and all of that.
That
And
don't
it's
cover
like
shit.
that, yeah, that thankfully, my mom is taken care of. My mom is able to, because my mom is a widow. My dad passed away 3 years ago, and he was the sole, like, he made the money in the house. So thankfully, my mom's VA benefits and everything, her disability takes care of her and my little sister. I'm very thankful for that. But handling veterans' mental illness and PTSD and trauma and helping them get on their feet should be one of the number one things that this country worries about. Those
And
people signed up, most people. There are some people who, as punishment have to sign up and enlist, but most
yeah,
people signed up to fight for this country. And
The country
I
doesn't fight
have
for them.
and the country doesn't fight for them, and I have the utmost respect for those people because I am a coward. I am a coward, okay? You will not see me on a battlefield. You will never see me on a battlefield if you
Only
see
in
me
game.
running. Yeah, only in game. Only in game. If you see me running, get out of there because I'm a coward. And people who will put their lives on the line for other people, for me and my family. They don't even know us. We're just, in their mind, they're fighting for our country, but we are a part of this country. They're fighting for us, and they deserve the utmost respect. They deserve the 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 love. They deserve the care when they come back to this country from wherever they're stationed, whatever they went through. It doesn't matter if they've seen battle or not. It's still so much on your mental. It's so much
Yeah.
trauma. And for them to come back and not be taken care of is just such a spit in the face. It's so disrespectful. That's just, I have very
Yeah.
strong feelings about that. And yes, it a lot of it comes from, I have a lot of veterans in my family. My mom's a veteran. My brother was over in Iraq. He's a veteran. And I just think people should show them a lot more respect and care than what they currently get.
I am in full agreement. I am a daughter of the American Revolution. My great grandfather fought in World War II. My great great grandfather also fought for this country, and although I don't remember exactly, I'd have to find my family history book to figure out exactly where he was. Um, and I, growing up, I took part as a child of the American Revolution with my mom being a daughter, and we were a part of the Oklahoma chapter. We were the group every year on Memorial Day that would go and put wreaths on the blank soldiers' graves in Sepulpa.
Hmm.
We did our parades where we dedicated an entire float to the veterans and to everything that they stood for and everything they stand for. I've
Hi,
known
Mama Onyx. We're
people.
talking about veterans.
Hi, Mama
You.
Onyx. Um, and with that with that knowledge there, I think as a general sense in regards to all of it, strength isn't pretending that everything's fine. Like we've talked about before, in games we know how to ask for help from healers without shame, and in real life I think that
Hmm.
that should be a fact too. And community
Yeah.
matters when it comes to veterans, when it comes to pride, when it comes to men's
I
mental
was about to
health.
say all of it together.
Yeah,
All of it
community
together.
makes a difference and it helps
Yep.
people heal better when they don't feel as alone. And I have,
Having a village surrounding you, whether you're going through just, whether you're coming out of the closet, you're going through a sex change, you're dealing with mental health, you're a veteran that needs extra support, all of that leads back to community and everything. And
and
that's what they need.
exactly. And we definitely don't get enough of it nearly at all in any regard.
Mhm.
And I just would like to say and I know you guys can agree with this statement here, on behalf of the Reframing Gaming Podcast and all three of us streamers personally and individually, to all veterans, thank you guys so much for
Mhm.
your service, your sacrifices, and your dedication.
Yes.
Because just like we've discussed today through all of these different things in this episode, belonging and community matter. And we hope that every single veteran knows that they have people who care about them and support them, and they have systems they can lean on and a place where they are valued and appreciated. So thank you for your service and thank you for being part of our
Mhm.
communities.
Mhm. Thank you
I
so
will
much.
say, first, thank you. Yes. And my I just remembered something that my grandmother had told me. My grandpa actually did not want to join the military at all. His My great grandfather forced him to join the military when he turned 15
Mm.
because he thought it would make him a man. It would toughen him up.
Make him a man. It's
And
okay to have emotions when you have a penis.
It's
my
okay to have
Okay?
grandfather,
emotions if you're human.
Oh,
my
yeah.
grandfather, in probably the perfect Irish way, in no uncertain terms, told my great grandfather to go fuck himself. And my grandpa did not change. He stayed in the military for
Hmm.
5 or 8 years, something like that. And when he came out, he was still the same sweet, goofy little man that is the only
Good.
thing I remember from my childhood.
No, it's good
He
that his spirit didn't get crushed
no,
during all of that.
he looked at it as a I'm pretty sure he looked at it like a challenge. Like,
It's a
you
good way to
want me
look
to
at it.
become something I'm not, and you can kiss my arse. I'm not going to be.
Um, Being stubborn is the best motivator in the world. And I think most streamers can agree that we're all fucking stubborn because if you can sit there and play a
I'm not
game for
stubborn.
50 hours to beat one boss, you're a stubborn person. That's for sure.
I'm not stubborn.
I am. I'm very, very, very stubborn, and I have been trying to unlearn that behavior.
Same.
It's okay to apologize and admit when you're wrong. And I've always been the type of person that doubles down. Even when like I could know I'm wrong and I will double down because I don't want to be embarrassed. And that goes hand in hand with it's okay to mess up, make mistakes and admit you're wrong. That's one of the things I work on in therapy is admitting when I'm wrong. But yeah.
Yeah, same for me. I've always been, just like you said, I've been a stubborn old bat my entire fucking 30 years on this planet. And I'm telling you right now, I have been struggling and in the process of trying to unlearn that as best as I can,
Hmm.
especially through like communication, like with my husband, or just in a general sense. I've been trying to unlearn that, be able to like admit when I'm wrong or when I fuck up or whenever I say the wrong thing, or, because like, especially in a high tension situation for me, in a major argument, I don't know when to stop. I don't know when to shut up. I don't know when to give up. I don't know when to let it go. And I've been
That's
really
me.
working on that because it's so bad. It's so bad.
I want to talk it out with people. Like if you're mad at me, if we have an issue, do not ghost me. Do not be quiet. Like I want to talk this out like two adults. I want to figure it out. I want to go back and forth, figure out, if I was in the wrong, I will always apologize. Come to me like an adult if you have an issue. Please.
Exactly.
Everybody in my life knows that. I will
I
not be mad. I will happily talk it out with you.
I will say this though, at least for myself, I you're never going to get an honest back and forth in an argument with me
No,
because
you got to let it
I
settle a little
need
for me
time
too.
to get it right in my head, and because I am very unfortunately I am my father's son. I am very quick to anger and very quick to hurt you more than you can hurt me.
Hmm.
And it's been 32 years of me trying not to do that. And I have found out that the easiest way for me to do that is to shut the fuck up,
Hmm.
take some time, and actually think about what was said before just saying it. Because Chelsea can even attest to this. If we sit there and we try and talk it out right then and there, it leads to a bigger thing than what it could have been or what it should have been.
Yeah.
From my
It
side too,
leads
though.
Yeah,
it leads
Dylan's
to
the same
higher.
way. We both in the past, if we got into an argument, he's the type he wants to walk away, cool down, and talk about it later. I'm the type that I want to hash it out right then. Like I want to talk about it right then, get it out of the way, and then you can go off and you can be mad at me, you can be annoyed, whatever. We can have time apart. Um, but that never ends well. And obviously going through therapy and everything, I'm relearning a lot of things. I'm unlearning a lot of toxic things. And one of the things, and Dylan is kind of like going to therapy with me because I have my therapy and then I talk to him about my therapy. And he's also unlearning a lot of behaviors as well. So we're both working on if we have an argument, instead of wanting to talk about it right then and there, I will walk away or he'll want to walk away, but he'll tamper that and want to sit down and calmly talk it out. So we're both trying to learn,
The opposite of
these
what you're
different
used
things.
to.
Yes, exactly. And be more understanding of each other in those areas. So it can be really hard.
That's what I was
but
just
it's
gonna say.
so
With
worth it.
me and him, he's a Sagittarius, so that's a fire sign. I'm a Pisces, it's a
I'm a
water sign.
Sagittarius.
So when we have like that head butting moment of like you're fighting fire with like boiling water basically and nothing's
Yeah.
happening. You're just like clashing right in the middle.
Thank you for the hydrate obsidian.
For us, a lot of what helps that is talking it out through text because it gives us time to process what's going on in our brain. It lets us
Yeah.
give time to like write a rough draft or whatever. Just write it down and get it out of your head first and then like assess.
Yeah.
And that's what
Because
ends up helping us.
you can hit a backspace button. You can't take back saying something cruel in the moment.
Yeah. Mhm.
And
You shouldn't ever
that's
say anything hurtful out of anger.
no, but when you're angry or pissed off, do you really think about that?
I do. I don't know if other people do, but I don't I try to tamper down my anger though. I am very aware about what I say when I am angry or in an argument because I know I can't take it back, and that comes from growing up with a very toxic father who would yell and scream and throw things and say anything hurtful that could hurt you in that moment.
And I
So
But
think
then
growing
you
up
that's
and
turn
where
seeing
around and you
that,
cry later about it because you hear
yeah, and
yourself saying it.
so in my mind, if I'm in that situation, someone's pissed off at me and they say mean things to me, why in the future if I'm mad at somebody, why would I want to make them feel like that? I will
and I
tell
think
them I'm upset with you, you fucked up if they're the ones in the wrong, but I'm not going to sit there and yell at them or call them names or say mean hurtful things because one, it's probably a loved one I'm talking to. Even if it isn't, I still don't want to be rude to somebody. You never know what they're going through that day. So they could just be having they could be an angel and just be having a bad day. Everybody has bad days. And so I always try to put myself in another person's shoes. Sometimes that could be a little bit hard just because of the fact that some people don't deserve kindness. You just gotta figure out, feel out the situation. Um, but me personally, my first thought is figure this out in an adult way. We're not in high school. We're not getting into a fucking fist fight. We're not in a bar. There's no reason to scream and yell and say mean things and call them names, especially one, I don't want to hurt somebody, but two, why would I want to be like my father? Why would I want to treat somebody else the same way he treated me out of anger?
and that's why I've told Jesse from day one it's easier for me to text things because I don't want to do that. I just haven't
Hmm.
been able to
Hi,
fully
Aiko.
stop
How are
myself
you?
from doing that.
Hi, Aiko.
I
Yeah.
go and I don't get me wrong, I do actively try not to. It just for 18 years that's the only way I saw people argue
Hmm. Nope.
was
You're preaching to the
trying to
choir,
one up
brother.
each other, and it's like
Hmm.
I know I shouldn't. I can tell that this is not something that I want to do
Thank you for
or
the
something I
lyric,
should do.
Angel.
It doesn't
Yeah.
stop me from doing it though, which is the biggest issue with it.
Yeah,
And
once I get
it
past a certain threshold, I just stop caring about the words that come out of my mouth, which is what I'm trying to work on now.
it's like anytime I've gotten into physical altercations, if I get hit once, you better hope that you've knocked me out because I
You have an
will not
angry
be able.
Irish man on you like a
No,
spider monkey,
I
coming at you with potatoes and
kind
tea
of.
bags. It's a scary thought.
I've so this was years and years and years ago,
Mhm.
but somebody pushed me past that point and had put hands on me, and I almost got arrested for attempted
Unaliving.
life subscription ending. Thank you.
Aligning.
He was picking on me about something that my brother did, and he kept pushing me, and I finally got to a point where I didn't care anymore, and I picked him up and I slammed him against the wall. Well, his head was about just a few millimeters away from one of those coat hooks.
Yeah. Ooh.
And I was perfectly okay with it at the time. I did not give a shit.
Oh my god, you were gonna turn
I've
him into Dean Winchester?
yes, I was going to pull a Dean Winchester. It
Sorry.
Jesse's face.
Sorry. I can't. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. I knew
No,
Chessie was
like
gonna get a kick out of that
I
one.
Oh,
I get to that point and I don't. It's almost like watching myself
Yeah,
from a
it's an
TV.
out of body
It's I
experience.
don't see anything
Hmm.
other than what's in front of me, and it's definitely a fight or flight response. I'm
Yeah.
perfectly well aware of that. I do not know how to temper that, and with physical altercations, it gets very nasty.
Hmm.
The only time I've been able to temper that is if it's, unfortunately, if it's a woman hitting me, because I've watched my dad do it to my mom for so long that I know if I ever even thought about it, my mother would appear like some sort of bitch magic and whack me with a spoon,
Hmm.
and she would make sure that I didn't. But I
I
also never wanted to do anything like that and be like him in that way.
yeah. I'm not saying I'm happy for one. I'm happy the kid didn't get hurt and stabbed in the neck. But I do fully believe that if you fuck around, you're gonna find out.
Yeah,
yeah.
It is what it is. You fuck
I
around, you're gonna find out.
I will
Okay,
say he never picked on me again after that.
you're gonna end up with a dirty back and hurt feelings. Don't
Yeah.
fuck around, you won't find out. Uh,
Play stupid
And
games, win
that
stupid prizes.
exactly, and maybe this is a massive hot take, and if I get canceled for it, I get canceled for it. But if a woman runs up and starts beating the shit out of a dude and punching him in the face and trying to hit him with something, and he whacks her to get her away the fuck away from him and get out of the situation, I am not gonna look down on that guy for doing that.
No, I don't think
Anybody,
that's a problem, but
anybody will try to get out of the situation and try to fight back and try to get away from it. You're not just gonna sit there and roll over and let this woman beat the shit out of you with a brick.
I mean, I did.
It's but to me, and obviously everybody's has different opinions, but in my mind, if I'm a man and a woman's coming at me and trying to stab me, yeah, I'm gonna try to get her away from me.
I mean,
And
look,
mhm,
I this one's a little weird.
it's just
So
instinct. Thank you, Mama Onyx.
I brought flowers home for Mother's Day for an ex, and I forgot she was allergic to flowers because, mind you, I had just gotten off of a 32-hour shift.
Hmm.
I was tired. I
That
wanted
was
to
a sweet
go the fuck
thought,
to sleep.
though. Yeah,
Yeah, she came after me with a butcher knife.
I know
what
I
the
that
have
fuck?
story.
I have a nice big long scar. It's fairly faded now, but yeah, I got sliced because I brought her flowers
No, knock that bitch out
for Mother's
right to
Day.
the dome, right in the side of the head.
I'm gonna give a slight hot take in this regard too. If you are a woman, if you want to throw hands with a man, you better be able to fight like a man, because if you're just gonna come at him because of this, that, or the other stupid thing because you're still in high school, that's a you problem. And when they defend themselves, that's also on you because you're the one that came at them. So how about we keep our
That's
hands to
yep.
ourselves like we learned in kindergarten, and
Kindergarten, yeah.
it's not
Mm-hmm.
hard. It's not hard to
Uh,
just
a hot take for that one is a lot of women know that men will not fight back because they
Yep.
know for a fact that if we do, we're the ones in jail.
You guys are the bad guys. They're the
It's
it,
it
it
sucks, but it's the way
sucks.
it is.
I was just about to say that at the exact same time as you. It sucks, but it is what it is, and I absolutely hate that. But I think talking about these matters in these situations, even if it's just us talking about them, brings more of a spotlight to it. One small step can lead to a tidal wave of a change
it
if
And like
can.
everybody tries. and
Like right
talking
now,
about
we're
mental health awareness for veterans, for men, for the LGBTQIA, the ABC group, the ABC mafia.
yeah. I don't even know
Talking
how
about
many
all of
letters are in
these
there right now.
can do good. It can do good.
I
What,
think
I
Therese?
mean,
What'd you say?
even though we're only speaking to what 23 people right now, that's still 23 people that
Yeah,
hear it
that's
and
still
maybe
23 people
can
that,
think critically about it.
yeah, I want to give chat homework. I want chat to go befriend a gay veteran with a mental illness.
Okay, just because you were
Go
a teacher does
befriend
not mean you
them.
get to assign homework.
I used to
she
be
can
a
assign
teacher.
all
I
the
used to
homework
be a
she
preschool
wants.
teacher.
Okay,
You guys
that's
have
just
homework
because
now.
you're dirty.
I'm so glad your generation is having those conversations. Thank you, Mom. Well, Mom, you are my mom. You raised me to be the person I am today. And I am very happy with the person I am today. And that's because of my mother. My mother is exactly like me.
And
Also, she is, like I said, an OG grunge goth from back in the day. Of course, she's gonna have some pretty high opinions of things. She's an original anarchist.
And I think all of
But
our parents really tried their best, and regardless of whether they
mhm,
feel like they succeeded or they failed, like the reality of it is every single one of us here
Aiko,
on this
I
podcast,
agree.
oh my gosh, I go.
every single one of us has learned something. Whether it was
Yeah,
bad experience or good experience, we all took lessons from it. We can all carry that forward and we can all teach our kids moving forward. And I love that, just like Mama Onyx said, our generation is opening their eyes to a lot of this stuff, especially the
yeah.
men's mental health. I've seen so
Hmm.
many TikToks of women advocating for men's mental health, and it makes my heart so happy because, like,
Yes,
those people genuinely, I've seen multiple TikToks by some of the same creators talking about that stuff and responding to comments and making it actually open for discussion. And I think that means the whole world because, like, no matter who you are or what you're carrying or where you're from, you deserve people that make you feel seen. You deserve
exactly.
support, and I I really wish that everybody in the world knew that you never have to carry anything alone.
Never, never. There will always be at least one person there
Oh,
to
I go.
talk to. Always. Like I literally I could be walking down the sidewalk and if a person walked up to me and asked me if they could just vent, I could never see this person in my entire life. No idea who this person is. And I will happily sit down right there and talk with that person because who knows? I might be the one thing standing between them and ending it. Just
Yeah,
one kind conversation, and
I would have beat the
that's
crap out of your dad, by the way, I go. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm that makes me sick to my stomach.
Me too, a little bit. Like,
Ugh.
in no way, shape, or form, no matter who you are, how old you are, what the dynamic is, you have no right to put your hands on somebody
No.
else. Not
Mm-mm.
at all. And well, I mean, like, unless they ask. We're not going to talk about that. Not the blue app. But
Consent. Consent.
exactly,
Consensually.
you don't have the right to put your hands on somebody else. You don't have the right to take someone's choices away from them like that. And
Yeah.
it's absolutely unacceptable. And like, I'm hoping, literally hoping and praying for the day, chat, that I see somebody trying to start some shit like that in a Walmart or something, because I'm joining in. I'm kicking somebody's ass on behalf of a stranger. I don't mind. I will go toe to toe with a man twice my size, and I will still
Mm-hmm.
be laughing about it with a black eye. I do not care.
If you really,
I will always, always, always. I always tell my son, when you go to school, you stick up for other kids. Like I don't give a fuck. Be the bully of the bullies. No, don't actually be a bully, but you know what I mean. You
Like,
yeah,
don't
always
pick fights, but don't
stick
be
up
afraid to
for
stick up for
other
people.
people. It doesn't matter if the person's smaller than you, bigger than you, older, younger, same age and size. You stick up for that person. You do not ever see bullying or someone being unkind and you just walk by and let that happen. If they need help, you help them.
a good
Always.
example, I got suspended my very first day of kindergarten for sticking up for somebody else. Granted, it was my brother. Somebody was picking on my older brother, and it was some fifth grader asshole. And my little kindergarten self with the hardest head of a kindergartner should ever have aimed like a damn missile and ended up getting him right in the gonads and dropping this little fucker that was picking on my brother. I am not an advocate for violence, but in that particular case, I feel like that was justified. He was picking on somebody else who was
Mm-hmm.
half his size because he was a little weird.
Oh.
And, well, my brother, I make fun of him now for it, but he's my brother. I'm allowed. Nobody else is allowed to make fun of him for his gimpy
Mm-hmm.
arm. Only me. Uh, he had cysts form on the growth plate in his shoulder, which stunted the growth. So he's got a turkey drumstick arm. He's got, I think it's his left arm that's about 4 or 5 inches shorter than his right arm.
Which I'd like to point out, it's not even noticeable. Like, I've been told the
Mm-hmm.
stories and everything, and even like when they send us pictures of their travels and them with the baby and all that stuff, like, I don't notice that about him. Like, it might be something that
No,
he's more aware of or something that like you or mom would be aware of, but like look on the outside looking in, like it's not even something that's noticeable. So if somebody wants to pick on
it's
my
like
brother-in-law, call me.
it's like you saying that nobody notices my teeth. I notice it, and I assume everybody else notices it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the
That's
same
how
way
he
about
feels
my
about his
belly and
arm.
my bat arms right here.
I've had 2 kids. I I I walk into the store and I'm like, oh my God. I've had 2 kids. Everybody can see all of my imperfections, but I know they can't. It's just my brain being a bitch to me.
But I,
Even if they
I would
did,
stick
who
up
gives
for
a
him. I'd
shit?
stick up for anybody that
Exactly.
was
Oh.
in a tough spot. I don't like people like I know one of Chelsea's coworkers. It was always the unalive yourself for everything. And
Mm.
while I know that she always had meant it as a joke,
Oh, I
just
know
kind
what
of
you're talking about.
yeah,
Took me a second.
kind of meant
Sorry.
as
Mhm.
like a go fuck yourself kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was meant as go fuck
I
yourself, but she would say like literally go yourself, and I'm like,
Mm.
I for like a hot minute, I because I do this thing where I mimic people, um, not in the same way like you talk about mimicking accents, Onyx. I tend to like mimic personalities, and I hate that. I've always struggled to find like my own, but I actually for like a short time kind of took on that same phrasing, and he had to like
Mm.
sit me down and have a talk with me about it, and I was like, you know what, I hear it, you're right, I'm gonna shut the fuck up because I
I'm
need to
gonna
watch
shut
my
the fuck
mouth.
up now.
it's just one of those things that it's like I heard it all the time growing up because
Mhm.
I came out as bi, so that was one thing that my sperm donor would use constantly, and it was like nope. Hearing that kind of crap, especially because first off, you don't choose if you're gay, bi, whatever. Because yes, as a middle schooler, I wanted my life to be more difficult. I wanted that. I wanted to be picked on
Yeah.
in a town
Mhm.
where being gay or bisexual is so frowned upon because everybody around here is into nothing but steers and like farming and all this crap. And it's like, yeah, I
Yeah.
wanted to make my life 1,000% harder than what it already was.
I
Being
remember realizing I liked women. I was like 8 years old. 8 years old, and realized I looked at girls the way I looked at boys. Why the fuck would I make my life more difficult by doing that? Why would I
exactly
go to school and deal with bullying and being told to drink bleach? Because, yes, I got told to drink bleach and everything. Why would why, just like you said, why would I make my life more difficult when middle school and high school already is a fucking minefield?
Mm-hmm.
w- with
exactly.
the shit talking and the fighting and the making fun of people. Like,
Not to
why would
mention
I make my life harder?
you grew up in
I
redneck
grew up in
territory.
Oklahoma. I grew up
Like,
in a very, very, very small town in the Bible, right smack dab in the Bible Belt of Oklahoma. And oh my
and
God, and
Jesse grew
I
up in a town
only
where everybody knew everybody.
and I only
Yeah.
dated girls throughout school. I've had two serious boyfriends in my entire life. An ex-boyfriend from school and then obviously Dylan. Other than that, I've only dated girls and I still
Dylan
prefer
basically got
girls.
lucky.
I literally my whole family always jokes around that I'm a lesbian that fell in love with a dude because
I
I've always preferred women.
I say
If
he
I would have
tricked
met
you
Dylan, I
after
guarantee I would have married a woman or been a lesbian, but
Onyx. I
I
think he
fell in love
tricked
with
you with
Dylan.
that Halloween picture.
He did. He tricked me with
You
the
you
fake
saw the you
boobs.
saw the fake boobs and you were like, okay, we got it.
He tricked me.
Systems a go.
He turned the light off during sex. I didn't know what was going on.
Honestly,
No, I'm
though,
very thankful though because I have two beautiful kids. But just because I am with a man does not make my gayness less. He knows I prefer women. I've always preferred women. I just ended up falling in love with a man, and it is what it is. But growing up in a small itty bitty town in the Bible Belt of Oklahoma and being a gay goth girl,
yeah, it's not
can you
easy.
no, it's not. It is not
I
easy. But I wouldn't change anything about growing up. I didn't have a good childhood, but it taught me a lot. And yes, I'm sorting through the trauma and the consequences of my upbringing now as an adult. But I learned a lot of lessons, and I wouldn't be who I am as a person if I wouldn't have gone through all of that. And I like who I am as a person.
I'm just saying, are
So,
you
no,
really a
I
'90s
wouldn't
kid if you
go and
haven't been in
change any of
therapy at
it.
least once or twice?
What?
I
What'd you
was
say?
making the joke. Are you really a '90s kid if you haven't been to therapy at least once or twice?
Exactly. The
and I
trauma.
I also grew up in a tiny town. Well, technically I grew up in between two tiny towns in Oklahoma, but I went to school in the crappiest blink and you miss it type of place. And let me tell you, the relentless bullying that I had before I had my first girlfriend versus after, absolutely insane, let alone whenever my style changed and I started wearing more
Mm-hmm.
black and I started, being like this. I had this like darker personality. I've always been this kind of not necessarily goth, but I like to say alternative like style type of
Yeah.
girl. And oh my god, the amount of crap. Like I used to get like before these kids even had their first period, I was getting joked about saying that I was pregnant and I did all this stuff with these male teachers or these male kids and all this crap. And I had so many kids by the time I was like 14. I don't know what happened to any of them, by the way. The child support never came. But I, I was not only pregnant, but I was also a lesbian. After I finally had
Ugh.
my first girlfriend, they were like, oh, well, she's fat. She must be pregnant, but she's a lesbian. And it was just all this crap, all these different jokes and all this like misogynistic crap that got thrown at me as a kid in high school. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said, middle school and high school girls are fucking mean, let alone the
They are
entire
so
school.
vicious.
They're awful. And then when you have the
Jesus.
boys picking on you, and I'm going to just shout it out because I don't give a fuck. I grew up in a town called Kellyville, and this school contained maybe 100 people. And I got bullied by the students. I got bullied by the teachers. I got bullied
I
by
was
the
about to
school
say
board.
the girls are vicious, but the female teachers that are in a clique with the popular girls in school are
They
the
had their
worst.
own. Everybody was in a clique.
Oh,
It was terrible. Like I
but
was
when the
literally in
teachers
a
join the clique
wheelchair
too is
with my
terrible worst.
spine. Yes, I was
I
in a wheelchair because of my spinal infection because they wanted me in a
Hmm.
wheelchair for like a month and a half or so following just to make sure that I could heal properly. I could still walk. I never lost my ability to walk, thank goodness. I am so thankful that I still have that ability. I've watched a family member of mine go through the same thing I had and she lost her ability to walk. So I'm very thankful. But I legitimately my because we had lockers at that point, I had a top locker. They would not relocate my locker to a bottom locker, even though I was literally in a wheelchair. So I had to stand up to get my books and do all this
Oh
crap.
my god.
And when I was being picked up from school one day, my mom told me this story. I was getting ready to leave school and I was putting my books back in my locker before I left, getting what was necessary out of it and getting ready to go home. And one of the boys in one of my classes ran up to my mom. Well, I know she's not handicapped. I saw her walking. She doesn't need that wheelchair. And my mom said, "You don't
Bullshit.
even understand the story and you need to mind your business," basically. Like, I don't
Yeah,
remember exactly what she said, but she was not
I
having
would
it.
have told him to fuck off.
My mom was not that type of person. She would have never told anybody to fuck off. I'm the complete opposite. I learned how to be the opposite because of her. But she wasn't having it. She was livid when she told me about that. And I also got bullied
They
because my
are about the
bio
last
mother
name.
went there. My bio mother went there. My brother, whenever he was going to that school for like I want to say about a year or two, he got bullied because of her. Like, I couldn't even get enrolled into the music class because that teacher didn't like my bio mom. Like, that's how bad that school was. It was
Small
awful.
towns, just like Mama Onyx said in chat, small towns, the last name matters.
It
It
does,
Good
does.
old boy
especially in
syndrome.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, especially in Oklahoma, the last name will always matter. And yeah, my mom in chat said we had a gay babysitter growing up. His name was Patrick. We called him Patty. Love him with all my heart, but that man is flamboyant. I mean, he was out there gay, did not give a shit in our town. He babysat us. He lived right across the street from us, and he was best friends with my parents. And his brother was best friends with my dad. And he babysat us every day after school, me, my little brother, and my little sister when we were younger. And he is the most amazing person. And he is a big reason why I am the way I am, because watching him just be himself in the middle of this Bible Belt town and not give a shit what other people think. And he was a scrapper. If somebody talks shit about him for being gay and wearing fishnets, because he did, he would throw down. He would throw down. And absolutely loved him. And he is one of the people in my life that has taught me to not give a shit what people think. Like, if you are happy, then you're happy. Who gives a fuck about other
Honestly,
people? They're not the one living your life. They're not the one wearing your clothes in your house,
In your
getting
body.
railed by your husband. Like, chill, stay in your lane.
Preach, sister.
I think the best interaction I had with somebody, I was talking to my grandparents. Mind you, they were older, much older, and from a completely different country, so that may have a lot to do with it.
Hmm.
Uh, but I told them, well, this is my girlfriend, this is Jamie. When
Hmm.
I was talking to him, and I thought you were dating a girl. I am Jamie. My grandparents were thoroughly confused. They thought I was dating a woman, and I was, but Jamie over in Ireland is a nickname for James. So they were all sorts of confuzzled. But they didn't care if I was dating a man, woman, in betweener. They didn't care. It was just confusion for them, but they accepted it either way. They're like, as long as you're happy, it doesn't matter. But just a little confused. But that was probably the best interaction in regards to pride that I had.
Oh, we can't hear you, Onyx.
Thank you. I accidentally clicked my mute button. I was saying, um, my mute button for Discord is N, and I was typing in Discord and it
I
muted me.
hotkey a lot.
Um, Yeah, what I was saying was no, that is a really good interaction to have from family. Like, every that is it it sucks that it's not a perfect world, and I wish it was, because that is how everybody should react to their loved one coming out of the closet. That's exactly how everybody should react to it.
And
And I'm
like,
very thankful I have a mother who accepts me for who I am, the crazy shit I say. She knows exactly how I act on stream is how I act in real life, chat. I want you to know that. This is me
same.
24/7, and my
We have
mom
some of the
accepts
energy.
me all the time, and I wish everybody had a mother like that or a loved one like that. It's so sad because there's so many people out there who don't.
And to
My
the
mom had
people
years to prepare before I told her because she already fucking knew.
and to the
Usually they
parents
do.
to the parents too, just to throw this out there for any parents that either are watching, may watch this later, whatever. If
Hmm.
you have a child, and not just parents, if you are an adult and you have a child come out to you, you are absolutely allowed to grieve the loss of the life you
Hmm.
thought your child was going to have or the life that
Yeah.
you expected them to have. That is normal, okay? What's
Hmm.
not normal is shunning them, telling them that they're less than, um,
Hmm.
disregarding them as your child, like you chose, I'm going to put this as bluntly as I know how, because if I try to sugarcoat it, it's going to sound weird coming from me. You chose to spread your legs. You chose to have that interaction with your partner, have a child. That means from that second that you have conceived that child, you are choosing
Yes.
to teach them, love them, and support them no matter what. That child
Their
becomes your
entire
whole
life,
life.
not until they're 18. Their
And they are
entire
not,
life.
you're not entitled to determine who that human being of their own existence becomes. So if
Preach.
you can't support your kids through every single walk of life that they may choose or may go
Don't have
through,
kids.
don't fucking have kids. Keep your legs closed. Get on the pill, use condoms, do whatever you gotta do, but please do not put a person's life in jeopardy or make them feel like that, because you have a selfish entitlement about you that makes you feel like you should be able to determine who somebody else becomes, because that's not your place.
I went
Aiko,
to
I will
Cameron
definitely
University in
say,
Lawton. Sorry, I was going to read Aiko's
oh,
chat. As a change of scenery from New Jersey, and now I live in Missouri, and it's so hard being in the Bible Belt. Being bi, Wiccan, eclectic, and having a foul, apparently crude sense of humor really doesn't work in the South. I offend people here in Missouri on a daily. That's how I was growing up in
Same.
Oklahoma.
you'll fit
Felt
in
Honestly,
like
just
fuck
heroes
them
fine.
people.
too. Yep.
You'll fit in just
Hmm.
fine because I think the three of us at least have very dark senses of humor
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and will say some really out of pocket shit.
I don't. I don't. I don't have a filter, and I grew up constantly getting in trouble and being told you need to think before you speak. You need to think about the words that are going to come
That
out
is
of
a
your mouth.
skill I never
And
mastered.
I never mastered it either. And
No.
everybody that is in chat, most everybody that is in chat has been in my streams before, and you guys know I do not think before I speak. I say
You've
whatever
got
pops out of my mouth, and it's never mean or rude or anything like that. I just say weird, out of pocket shit, but that's how my brain works. And I learned a long time ago that I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
care.
fuck
I
yeah,
don't
love
I
George
don't
Carlin.
care what people think about what I say. I really don't. If they
I mean,
don't
come
like
on,
it,
Onyx. You've got a clip, a sound alert on
oh
your
Jesus.
stream screaming that you've got a bigger dick than everybody in a lobby
I
of people that you
do.
did not know other than Logan.
Yeah, exactly. And
So,
most of those people still talk to me.
Big Dick
So that's
Onyx.
proof. Big Dick Onyx. Most of those people still talk to me. It's proof I did not embarrass myself.
And
Oh,
even if you
nope.
did, they
I
loved
just
you
heard my
for
daughter
it.
wake up.
And you farting on people.
I did not fart on anybody in game. That was JoJo. Why do you guys always say it was me? It wasn't me.
Because it sounds like something you would do.
It does, but I have a clip. It was not me that farted on people. It was JoJo.
No,
You
I
know,
was trying
I
to.
get blamed for his stuff.
I was trying to mention uh, the good interaction I had, just as kind of a ending it on a good note because I know Onyx has to get off.
Yep,
yeah. I was
it's
gonna
my
ask one final
bedtime.
question, but I didn't need to because we answered it. The question was, what advice would you give someone who feels alone right now? And I think we pretty much covered all of the bases.
Oh yeah. I think this was a really good podcast
I mean,
episode.
come
This was
here,
very
listen.
enjoyable.
Even though, even if you're like me and you can't accept being accepted anywhere, do it. Just even if you feel awkward, stay in. Even if you feel awkward, have the phone calls with people, have the Discord calls, join in on games.
Do the weird thing.
Pretty much. Do the
Yeah.
thing that feels unnatural to you,
Also, take your own
because
advice.
you know what? I'm in this call, am I not?
Bang bang.
Take your own advice, buddy.
Yeah, I'm in this call. I am
And
taking my
I'm
own
so
damn
proud of
advice.
you. You're
Well,
streaming.
as we wrap up tonight's episode, then I would like, on behalf of all of the Gaming Podcast members
Yes.
here, to take a moment to recognize the observances that inspired today's conversations. Pride Month reminds us that everyone deserves the opportunity to live authentically, to be accepted for who they are, and to find communities where they feel safe, valued, and understood. Men's Mental Health Awareness Month reminds us that strength isn't measured by how much we carry alone. Real strength can be found in asking for help, reaching out, and allowing ourselves to be supported when life becomes heavy. Veterans Appreciation Month reminds us to honor and thank those who have served, recognizing not only their sacrifices, but also the importance of continuing support, connection, and community long after their service ends. While these observances represent different experiences, they all point back to something we've talked about throughout this episode: the need to belong, to be seen, to be heard, and to know that we matter. No matter who you are, where you've come from, or what you carry, we hope that you know that you deserve support, community, and you deserve a place where you can be yourself. And we'd like to thank everybody for spending your evening with us, all of you reframers out
Mhm.
there. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you in the next episode.